Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard to TQ Non-Profit Digital Voyage, a show where we talk about tech, social, and public good, and how you can get involved. I'm your host, Sabrina, and I hope everyone can sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you're ready, let's set sail. And now, on to our episode. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of TQ Non-Profit Digital Voyage. I'm your host, Sabrina, and today I am joined by our guest, Ms. Meng Fong, the Executive Director of RSVP Singapore, the Organization of Senior Volunteers. Hi Meng Fong, welcome to the show.
Hi Sabrina, very nice to be here, and thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming to this show. So before we begin talking about RSVP and what RSVP does, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Okay, sure. So hello everybody out there in the TQ podcast world. I understand from Sabrina that you have a varied audience, so I'm going to keep it short in my intro. So I'm coming to my 6th year as Executive Director for RSVP Singapore, and in the non-profit space, probably coming to the 9th year. Previous to this, I was in another non-profit organization, and which actually looked at leadership development for the non-profit organizations, which gave me like a really fast, quick intro to the whole social sector. And before that, I spent over 20 years in the corporate world, most of it, in fact all of it in IT, but in different roles, technical, marketing, and regional roles as well. That's my quick intro.
I see. Okay, thank you for the introduction. So let's just jump right into RSVP Singapore.
Okay.
Tell me about RSVP Singapore. What is the aim of the organization, the objectives, and what kind of programs do you conduct?
So we are over 20 years old, and our vision and mission is to make every senior a volunteer. And essentially, we look to develop senior volunteers, and we want to provide them with meaningful opportunities to serve the need of the community. And, don't get too hung up on the word senior, because when we were saying seniors were like 50 and above, but we do take in volunteers in their 40s. And when we do work with, corporates, generally it's a multiple age group. One of the reasons why we are called the Organization of Senior Volunteers is the history of the organization is when it started, people were retiring at 55. Now people are retiring at much older age and, staying at work longer. So that's changed the demographic somewhat. But essentially it's to have people keep active and to keep being useful and relevant, and in their retirement. Yes. Yep.
Okay, so one of the programs that I saw that you're doing is what you call the Majestic Smart Seniors Applied Learning Center.
Yes, of course. That's our newest center. When you asked about program, I forgot to add about the other things that we also did. So I have to mention them really quickly. So we have a slew of programs where we deploy our volunteers into. We have close to 3,000 volunteers now. And our volunteers are actually volunteering at different non-profit organizations. So that's what makes us really special. We are an intermediary, and so essentially we onboard new volunteers. So we train you, as a volunteer, and then we put people out to different kind of causes that resonate with them. So it could be befriending. We work with at-risk school children. We work with seniors. We work in the homes, and then we work with people that are recovering from mental illness. We also provide people opportunities to work in like heritage sites like Indian Heritage Center, or even we have tie-ups with very interesting like locations like Haw Par Villa, or even at Geylang, the Malay Heritage Village, right? And then I have to mention before I lead into your question about our new center, Majestic, is that we have training. So we have volunteers that do the training program with us. They train seniors in IT. Yes, they do. So, and we've been doing it for a long time. And then they also provide volunteerism training. So that's one of the special things that we do. When you talk about Majestic, which is the new center that we have, that's open in Chinatown, just opened in February. The idea was for it to be a different concept in a senior center. So the full name is, we call it, our pet name is MSALC, which is Majestic, MSSALC. So it's Majestic Smart Seniors Applied Learning Center. And the reason why we say applied learning is because from our experience, when we first started teaching seniors in IT, they always they would learn something and then they have a tendency to forget. I mean, you've done that, right? Have you tried teaching your moms and your older aunties?
Yes.
So it's not so much. I mean, we do that anyway. If I learn something new, if I don't practice it often enough, then I'll forget, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing, but more so with seniors because it's new to them and they may not use it as often. So the idea is for them, once they learn something, is for them to be able to use it and apply it immediately, right? And it should be done in a fun way. So that's why we call it applied learning. So a lot of our efforts is spent into identifying the need on the ground, like in the community, and then coming up with the a curriculum, or what we call a class, to make the experience, what we call the learning journey, something that they can use what they learn right after, So let me give an example, right? So we're running the e-payments theme as we first started, because that's an identified need. During COVID, there was it was really, I mean, what did you guys do when you were locked up? How did you get food?
Yeah, you grab and buy everything online.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, so that one is quite easy, right? Or else everybody became really good at using Grab and doing online stuff. But can you imagine, auntie and uncle, or if they're staying by themselves, right? And they barely know how to use the mobile phone. So then they're really stuck, right? How do you do this e-payments, and get simple things like food or groceries, that kind of stuff, right? And nowadays, and then there was this thing where the government was pushing e-payments because you didn't want people to touch money, right? Because that was during COVID, so there's a lot of e-payments going out. Yeah, so all these platforms are out there, and even for me, I had to learn, right, how to use e-wallet on my phone, right, and then how to do more orders. And my son does it faster than me. They for small things. I think you guys do it, the millennials, two Gong Cha bubble tea.
Yeah.
I do that. I mean, it appears on my doorstep and the doorbell rings. I say, what? You guys just ordered 2 drinks, For me, I'm ordering a whole meal. Otherwise, go and walk down the street. But no, I think that's something that you take for granted is why not use the technology, right? But it's not so for seniors. So there's a lot of fear in using, because there's a lot of, worry about, now there's all these cybersecurity scams, and also, will it suck up all my money? So there's something we hear a lot. So what we do is, for something simple like digital payments, say even PayNow, PayLah, we work with DBS, which is one of our partner. We create the learning journey so that they can actually buy something immediately.
I see.
After they finish. Yeah, so it's something that's sponsored by our partners, and then immediately you can, buy something, PayNow, PayLah. Of course, we make it very cheap. It's a $2 thing, but they get to do a full-blown transaction, and then it's not like somebody standing at them, or they're going to the shop and there's like 10 people waiting for them, right, while they're trying to do this e-payment thing. So they're doing it in a safe environment. And we've had really good feedback about it. The seniors, they are always very excited when they're buying items. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yes.
So, like, when you first came up with the idea to open the center, was it like out of necessity because of COVID, or was it already in planning way before the COVID?
Oh, yeah, good question. Well, what happened is we were approached by the space is sponsored by our partner Singapore Pools. Thank you very much, Singapore Pools. It was something that I think it's been in the works. We were approached in Q4 2019 to come up with some ideas on what to do with this space, and they wanted to turn it into a community space. They knew that, you know, our focus was on seniors, and for them it was a really good fit. It was it's about more than 2 years in the making before we could launch. You know, COVID delayed it. We interestingly put a very a committee together to help us with the ideas, and we went through community engagement to get the design. Yeah, so we worked with organizations that have seniors around that location, and we brought in our own seniors as well, volunteers, and we, you know, asked them aspirational questions and also questions about what do you think a center should look like, you know, if it's for seniors and it was for, you know, learning new technology. So we wanted to make sure that we did it from, you know, ground up and heard from, you know, seniors, because it is a center that seniors will be using. Yeah, so that's how we came up with the design. I mean, the concept of applied learning is something my chairman, Mr. Ko Ming, is very close to his heart, because he has been at the forefront of pushing, you know, digitalization and getting, essentially working on programs that enable us to help seniors bridge the digital divide. He's an ex-IT person himself from way back, and he is very much involved with different types of community organizations that actually deal with seniors as well. So it was his idea, and it's something that, you know, we're happy to, you know, bring to fruition. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I saw some mentions on your website about how people can participate, and something about like members and non-members. So what is the typical rundown for this program? Like, do people have to register by themselves, or is it like a walk-in thing?
Yeah. So anybody can just walk into the center and then find out about their courses and sign in. It is for members of the public. You know, we're in the middle of Chinatown at, what's the address? ATU Tong Sen Street. So if you are walking past Chinatown, you will see us at the Majestic building. So it's quite prominent. Do pop in. So anybody can walk in and inquire. Seniors can sign up. It doesn't cost them anything. So we're not charging anything, because we are very lucky, at least for these 1-2 years, to have sponsorship from our partners. And then the other thing, what was the other thing that you asked? How can people join us? Like what we do?
Yeah, how can people join you?
Oh, so the interesting thing about, and then that's what unique about RSVP, is that we use seniors. It's like a peer support, peer help, peer learning concept. So it's seniors helping other seniors. So our trainers are volunteers, or our facilities are volunteers, and they're also seniors. And so they are the ones that will actually be conducting the classes for the seniors. Now, we've had a lot of interest from corporates that are also interested to participate, you know, because during COVID it was very hard to do large CSR, corporate social responsibility type events. So this is definitely a very good avenue for small teams that are interested in working with seniors, and they can participate by coming in to contact us and volunteering, because the things that we are teaching are senior centric, but it's not like very complex or difficult. We've purposely made sure that the learning journeys, what we curate in terms of the technology that we bring forward to the seniors, are simple and are very structured. Yeah, so that they can follow it easily, and then always with the fun part and the applied learning part, which is something that they can do right after the class, like use the e-payment immediately. So it's, you can, anybody interested to volunteer, they're interested in working with seniors, they're interested in the technology element, albeit we are trying to look at other forms of technology that are cooler, so to speak. We are looking at so we have facial recognition within the center. We have a telepresence robot that kind of runs around, which we program, and then we're looking at fall sense. What do we call them? We have CCTVs, and we're looking at like fall prevention. So those are like the more high-tech, cool things that we have. People that are interested to partner us or to find out more about that, do come and talk to us. We want the center to be a place where seniors can experience technology, that they probably wouldn't be able to, but we are also looking to curate programs that are needed, at that community and at that ground level, which is why we started off with the e-payments theme first. Yeah,
that's understandable, because like when you're talking about like aunties and uncles, it's always very intimidating and overwhelming to them.
Very much so.
Straight into something more complex. So
absolutely. The aunties on the ground, I mean, we're teaching them, things that we take for granted, really, like, is pay now and pay later, just like so simple, right? But I had to learn it from a younger colleague, like a couple of years ago, like, pay by my phone. Otherwise, I had to like be digging out for cash, right? But for the auntie and uncle that walk in, when I ask them, why don't you use it? Oh no, I scared. So they're afraid that, like I said, they're just afraid that something funny will happen. And also, I think they don't want you, like, if they, even to buy simple stuff. I know I was with this auntie during, it was a course, and she finished, and she said, come, I want you to show me how to use it. It was just as simple as putting $2 into the PayLah and then, keying in our little code. She still wanted to make sure she was doing it by herself. Away from everyone else. So that no one's staring at them, but even though people are not. Yeah, so that's quite interesting.
I feel like with all the stories we hear about, like, especially, that case where where there's a child that was trying to order food, but they didn't know that their website was like hanging and lagging. So
correct. Can you imagine when that happens, right? So
they
panic.
Think even more.
I think one of the things is when seniors are teaching them, and when they have our facilitators there, we generally have like the class sizes are about, I think we're up to 20 now, so we'll have a facilitator, and then we'll have like assistant facilitators, so people to help around, also our seniors. Thank you so much, RSVP volunteers. So then you at least have like one person can look after 3 or 4 seniors that are learning at the same time. So I guess part of it is, like, I talk about fear a lot, and that's one of the things, but also I think they just don't want to look silly, There must be this misconception, or I don't know, I hope we are not perpetuating things, and this is something that I try to encourage the people that I know that are my seniors, like my mom, and my dad's passed on, but it's for them to try new things. But there's always this fear that I'm going to look stupid if I stand there and I don't know what to do. right? So that is, I think there's a bit of that as well. But we've had quite interesting stories, and I can share that. There was this 75-year-old lady, a Madam Tan, that attended our course actually. So she came out and told us after the 2 half-day session on the Pay Now, Pay Later, she said, I graduated already. She told one of the team members said, I graduated already, very happy. I went to buy fruit from the nearby store, very happy.
Oh my God,
so I know, it's very cute. So she signed up for our other courses, because for our e-payment team, this 3 months we are doing Pay Now, Pay Later, Google Pay, and FairPrice. Yeah, so she decided to sign up for the other 2 courses as well. So that was, I know, that was very interesting. Yeah, so at 75 years old. Then there was another one. There was an older uncle, 74 years old. He attended the FairPrice course. So for the FairPrice, is the FairPrice app. If you don't know anything about it, I encourage you to download it. And if you have, your older relatives want to come, bring them to Majestic Center. Because the courses are free, and then you get the vouchers when you use it at the FairPrice. So the learning journey is very interesting. We walk to the FairPrice across the street. Yes, we walk to the FairPrice at Chinatown Point, and there's a FairPrice downstairs, and they can, we go with them to use the DIY the DIY payment booth, and that's where they get to practice paying with their app. And it's very cool. So FairPrice is supporting by giving, a voucher for like a free gift, something relevant, is a food product. But anyway, yeah, it's very fun. So this 74-year-old uncle came, and then he said, hey, I didn't know how to... He was just using it to collect points, I think. Like, that's what I was doing, the same thing before I found out I could pay with it. But anyway, so he was very happy he could make payment from it, and then he said, I'm going to bring my wife to come for the next course. Yeah, so that one was very fun. They got to go to who doesn't love going to a FairPrice? And the FairPrice is across the street. They, I think when it's raining, we go under the tunnel, but otherwise we go across the street, which is quite cool. Yeah. So this is what we're trying to do, with all the programs that we're running. I mean, upcoming, we have tied up with people like Gojek, Foodpanda, and Lazada. Even I'm very excited to see, what the seniors will be doing and how they will be applying these new concepts. And then also very excited to see how else we can work with the community around that area in, these digital technology, digital applications. So that's where we're at. Yes.
Wow, I really like that story, the auntie and the uncle. I feel like I can definitely relate to that, knowing, my grandma and my parents
bring your grandma.
as well.
Yeah, send them down. Yes, definitely. Older auntie also can send down. Don't have to wait until... I think your grandma must be quite young. But yes, please. I mean, we get a lot of people that are walking in. They are just walking. I mean, Chinatown is an amazing area. They're just walking around there, going for lunch or makan, and so they just walk in when they see seniors. But, feel free to walk in. Just just come into our center. I hope it's not so scary. What we find is people will walk in when they see a lot of seniors inside. But when there's no one, then they don't dare walk in. But we get waves. So when one person walks in, everyone else comes in.
Comes in.
Yeah, I know. So the thing is, we can't have the door open because aircon is...
Yeah, I understand.
And it's a URA thing. But if you guys are walking down the center, or your relatives are out there, and they are going around the Chinatown area near OG or People's Park or Hong Lim, just come in. You'll see this thing. We'll have some banners outside, and you see MCLC, white background, blue logo. Just go in, just go into the center. Don't worry, there'll be people there to talk to you.
Okay.
Yes.
So since you guys do like senior volunteers, right? So when you
Mm-mm.
call for volunteers, then that would mean you want senior volunteers, or are you open to like younger volunteers?
Yes, so we have been seeing, okay, so our cause is to um, provide opportunities for seniors. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And in the technical representation is 50s and above. But we are taking in people that are in their 40s. But there's another way for groups that are interested to work with seniors to come and just approach us, really. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what we're trying to do, because like it doesn't mean it's just seniors for seniors, but there are some people, there's some youth have approached us like from different universities or polytechnics.
Mm-hmm.
They say, and then they come with really great ideas, and they say, I want to do something for seniors, and this is, the idea that we have. So we do take those in, but come if you have an interesting idea about what we've had somebody. I think this one didn't happen because of COVID. We had someone from an international school actually that wanted to do a project for teaching seniors. I don't know, something to do with WhatsApp or something, but it was kind of interesting. So we are interested to hear ideas that people would have that are beneficial to seniors.
I see.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay, I guess to all our Singaporean listeners, you should bring down your older relatives and just
Older relatives, aunties, uncles, yeah. Interested to learn more about technology. We actually, like, a lot of people just walk in and ask us, hey, my mobile phone plan is not doing well. What's going on? So one of the things is the center is also, as we open the center, we also want to understand the needs on the ground. So we've had people coming in to talk to us and say, hey, something wrong with my mobile phone. This one I cannot see the digital plan, how many gigs it is. So we do try to help actually. So we do have, so interestingly enough, we do have meet and greet volunteers that are equipped, that have some technical know-how, and then we that can actually help people.
I see.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
then there'll be the reception at the
there'll be like
at
a
Majestic.
reception. Yeah, we call them meet and greet volunteers that can help you if you have questions about some mobile technology. Usually it's mobile, so yes, that one we have actually. So I think we want people to come in and check us out. I think that would be my call out. Come in and check us out. Yes, if you're interested in volunteering. Yes, if you have an older relative that want to learn. Or yes, if you're a senior and you have been having some problems with your phone. I don't say we can solve it, okay? But if there's something you don't want to ask your kids, right? Okay, and then you got stuck on a problem, do pop in. Do pop in and check in with us. We can't always help you with all the technical details, but we do have seniors around and volunteers that are happy to. Sometimes it's just like, you have some question like, why is it when I press this button, it always goes there. Yeah. Right. So yes, come in and talk to us. Essentially,
I think it's a good sense of community as well, to be able to link with other people, around your age as well.
Exactly.
I want to hear more about like your stories, especially your volunteers and like the program.
Oh, the volunteer stories. Well, I think in our case, right, we have volunteers come in different ways. So some people are early retirees. Like they say, they don't have to work anymore. Let's say like in their 50s or something, and then they came from corporate. They have different skill sets, so they're interested to see how they can help the community. And a lot of them, I would say 80% of the people that come to us have never volunteered before. Never. And what they find interesting about us and what we do is we do give people like a feel about, here is what the landscape is for volunteering. Here's what the sector's like. What are the causes that you are interested in. Is it arts? Is it animals? Is it seniors? Is it children? So we have a volunteering 101 class. That's a half-day class for all new volunteers called Be an Effective Volunteer. Is one of our, it's one of our oldest class, but it's one of our flagship, I would call it, right? This is why we're special. So it's more like, it's about soft skills for being a volunteer. What are the mindset that you have, to be an effective volunteer? What are you looking for if you want to start volunteering? So we have a conversation with you. It is a class because we want people to meet with other new volunteers, and it's taught by a volunteer, an experienced volunteer. So when you join us as a volunteer, you attend this workshop called Be an Effective Volunteer as part of our onboard day. And so that's kind of how you can get started with us. So we have volunteers from different walks of life. If you're talking about demographics, I would say most of our volunteers are in their 60s and above. That would be like 80%. Some are older. They come from different walks of life. We've got people that are just housewives only, people that used to work in a corporate environment, in different industries, now they're working with young children because that's what they wanted to do. Because they say, I didn't spend a lot of time with my kids. Now I'm volunteering kids. Yeah, so we have different ones. Then we have somebody that was a housewife, but now she's one of our IT trainers, top IT trainer.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it's we've had a lot of these interesting stories. What I do find, which really gives me a lot of encouragement in the work I do, is that when they come and join us, if they don't know much about volunteering, they start with us and they always end up volunteering with other places. So it gives them the confidence to volunteer with other places as well. So I find that, I know I've done a good job in putting out this volunteer, because they never volunteered. They started with us and they volunteer in other places now as well. Right? So that is, I find that very cool.
So you feel like the proud mom of the organization.
I actually do, right? Yeah, but they're older than me, yes. Well, so I volunteered before, so when I stopped working for a while, I actually started volunteering in different places, and it was something I always wanted to do. I mean, in a corporate environment, I didn't have much time. I didn't know also how to start, so I just sort of of course, Google is very useful, but I volunteered in different organizations before I decided to join, the social sector. Yeah, so I find it I am very proud that I'm part of their volunteering journey. Yes, yes, that's what it is.
Oh my God, that's so inspiring to hear.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So before we end our call for today, do you have any final remarks, any future plans that RSVP wants to put out there?
We're always doing crazy things, fun things, with seniors. Yeah, we're doing really fun things. I would say for the people listening on the call, I mean, if you're interested in, working with seniors, I mean, from a community perspective, do come, and talk to us. Do bring your older relatives to drop by the Majestic Center. I will give, a couple of contact points, actually, for anybody that's interested to find out more about RSVP. We are on Facebook, which is very active. We're also on LinkedIn. Our website is rsvp.org.sg. You'll find a lot of information about us there. You can write to us at general@rsvp.org.sg, or if you want to call us, you can call us at 6259-0802. 6259-0802. Now I sound like a commercial. And then, say that you heard about us on the TQ podcast, can ask to find out more about volunteering.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Meng Fong, for joining us today and having this conversation. I had a really good time, and I also learned a lot about RSVP. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode. I
No
truly
problems. Yeah. Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
I truly hope our listeners enjoyed this one and that they've also benefited from our exchange. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
And that was today's episode. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe and leave a review. It would mean a whole lot to us. You can also head over to our website at thunderquote.org to gain access to our free digital resources. See you next time!